I think the local food movement's evolved in a sort of great way. I think it's become. First moved down here almost 20 years ago, and worked with Tony DeLuca at Hillebrand and Mark Bocconi at Vineland Estates. And I think it was such a young industry still, young wine industry, young food industry. And as we sort of said, there was this a lot of tender fruits, and we moved towards more sort of these vineyards. And now I think the interesting conversation is that there's more talk about gardens, and there's more talk about farming. There's more talk about there's local products that are more local products that are available other than just the grapes, other than just the fruits. We have tons of peaches and apricots and apples, and it's fantastic. But I think we're discovering that there were also these small little farmers, and I think we're sort of moving that same direction. As like we're using these farmers, utilizing the fresh produce as well as the tender fruits. So we're sort of seeing a great sort of transition into using this more local ingredients.
So even our bar chef, Zach Cabas, who works with us, he does a lot of, with our craft cocktail program, he makes his own shrubs, and they're local, seasonal, using vinegar as the base. So we try and stay away from any kind of lemons or limes, and so we can keep it local. We'll go through, like as soon as rhubarb season hit, we had a rhubarb shrub and a cocktail on. Right now, asparagus is in season, so Zach's making this killer gardener's mojito, he's calling it, but it's an asparagus mojito, and it's he knocked it out of the park on that one, I think.
It's over my time here the past 20 years, it's changed dramatically. First, starting when I started at Hillebrand, it was called Hillebrand back then. 20 years ago, it wasn't as large as it was. It was definitely, people are still sourcing it with great vineyards, experimenting with what they're growing. And I think in the 20 years, we've sort of really defined what Niagara can grow really, really well. And I think there's great winemakers pushing that envelope and working towards that, defining the right grapes for our region. And that's what any region sort of needs. That's why Bordeaux has been around for hundreds of years, and they grow those grapes. That's why Burgundy's been there for hundreds of years, and that's why they grow those grapes. And it's like I was at Tawes when they were putting in the glass walls for their tasting rooms. It's neat to see this. Tawes was never going to be a winery that you could taste at, and now it's there. It's kind of neat to sort of see this. The tourism has definitely helped drive the industry. People really want to sort of understand and learn about wine versus 20 years ago. 20 years ago, it's coming down, drinking wine on a tour. Now it's kind of coming down, drinking and learning more about the wine. There's a lot more education, I think, around the wine. And there's a lot more I think people are just really more people are educated more, and I think they want to learn. They want to learn more, and it goes along with the food and the wine. I think it's just people are understanding that they work really well together, and trying to figure out why they did it is important to a lot of people.
And then I think that we have I think the winemakers here in the wine industry have, in this really short period of time, have become a world-class wine growing region. And one of the reasons that I chose to work with an international list, in particular here at Backhouse, was so that we could showcase Niagara wines. And I'm really, really excited about being able to do vertical or horizontal flights, showcasing Niagara wine on an international stage, because I think we stand up, and I think that people need to be able to taste, cool climate Pinots from around the world, and ours being in there, and to understand what that idea and that terroir. And because we're in the industry, we get to do this all the time, and we kind of take it for granted. And the average consumer doesn't get an opportunity for that unless they're going out and buying a whole bunch of bottles and sitting around their dining room table with friends and stuff, because we go to wineries and we get to taste their portfolios.
I think the general public is becoming more educated, and that's forced the restaurants to become more educated, and just teaching people wine. And I think the wine pairings, you can't just fluff it off. It's you have to sort of taste it, understand why it's working, understand where the wine's from, and why we're pairing it. I think you can't be red wine with meat, white wine with fish, and that's what we do. It's kind of like why are we putting that with them? I think as the food culture is growing down here, the wine culture is growing down here, and everyone's becoming more educated. We have a lot more professionals down here, I think, now than we did, and there's a lot more professionals everywhere. I think even in the whole Ontario, even the food region, there's more professionals, more people becoming sommelier, more people becoming chefs. And I think, Niagara College is great. They put a lot of great somms, a lot of great chefs, and
the majority of the people that work on our floor in front of the house are sommeliers, or at least wine educated. We have, like in here, with having the farm, and then all the programs that are integrated into, and we're a small restaurant. We have a wine and beverage manager. We have a cheese making program, a bread making program. We do whole animal butchery, and then the farm as well. And that's I think that's the new wave of innovation in restaurants. It's a lot of labor, but it's hopefully the end result translates.